好，
200公分的。
10号。
比比马哈迪还要长命嘞。
उसके बाद भी सब गए वाले से 2 बजे के बाद करवाए। चलो हो जाए तो ठीक।
Don't want to leave, right?
Nah, it was unforgettable.
The sights were amazing.
Yeah, I'll always remember the warmth and the kindness of the people.
And there was so much color in the culture.
Taiwan is such a special place.
I'll never forget it.
Wow. Hello, everyone from Asia. And
Don't want to leave, right?
Nah, it was unforgettable.
The sights were amazing.
Yeah, I'll always remember the warmth and the kindness of the people.
And there was so much color in the culture.
Taiwan is such a special place.
I'll never forget it.
yes, hello, everyone from Asia, and to all our audiences around the world, especially to our friends in Taiwan. This is CPD Asia, the online continuing professional development platform for Asian Radiologic Technology Societies. And hosting the 55th CPD Asia program is the Taiwan Association of Medical Radiation Technologists, TAMRT. I am Peach Luna, your CPD Secretary General and your CPD Asia program host. Now we are live streaming on YouTube. Just search PARI or PARI, MSR, or VART channels so you can join us live or watch a replay anytime. So to formally start our program, may I call in the president of Taiwan Association of Medical Radiation Technologists, TAMRT, President Chun Yuan-tu.
Good afternoon, President and participants. Thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to join the CPD course. On behalf of TMRT, it's my great honor to welcome you all. I would also like to express my sincere thanks to our invited speaker for their dedication in making this event possible. I believe today's program will be both inspiring and rewarding for everyone. Thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Chun Yuan-tu. We're happy to see you again. Again, thank you for your warm welcome and message. Before we begin, let me take a moment to extend our heartfelt appreciation and warmest welcome to all other presidents who are attending live with us. So let me start with President Fernando Koch of Macau Radiological Technologists Association.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I am Fernando from Macau. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Sir Fernando Koch. We also have a president of Vietnam Association of Radiological Technologists, VART President, Tai Van Loc.
Good afternoon, all friends. Congratulations, TAMRT. Congratulations.
Attending for President Nang Tat Ming is the Hong Kong Radiographers Association Vice President, Sir Nelson Wan.
Hello, good afternoon. Nice to meet you again. Thank you, TAMRT.
Yes, good afternoon to you, sir. We also have President Vitarana Gamijwa Malasena of Society of Radiological Technologists, Sri Lanka.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. My best wishes for the TAMRT for the competitive webinar, which will be helpful to us to upgrade our knowledge. Thank you very much.
Also with us, yes, thank you. And belated happy birthday, President Vitarana. So we also have here live is the President of Indian Society of Radiographers and Technologists, ISRT, President Mr. Mohan Lal Bhagwat.
So, very good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to join you today for this important session, and my best wishes to all for this going to be a impactful and insightful webinar today.
Yes, thank you, sir. And also with us is President of Palestinian Association of Medical Radiation Technologists, President Mohammed Abdelghani.
Good morning from Palestine. Wishing you all the success. Thank you.
Thank you, dear President. We are happy to also receive the greetings from President of Perhimpunan Radiographer Indonesia, Dr. Gyek Subianto, from Cambodian Association of Radiological Technologies, President Sophie Lee, also from Japan Association of Radiological Technologists, President Katsuhiko Ueda, also from Taiwan Society of Radiologic Technologists, and we also have greetings from President of Philippine Association of Radiologic Technologists. So before we start, we would like also to acknowledge some of our invited panelists who are joining us here. May I request everyone, along with our speakers, to please open your camera shortly for a short photo opportunity. All right, one more photo. All right.
Hello, everyone.
So,
it's my pleasure to be here to share my research finding. My name is Shiyan Xu. I'm from Department of Information Engineering, Yishu University, Kaohsiung. Today, my presented topic.
All right, so sorry for that small technical glitch. Now, thank you again, dear presidents and our panelists. They will be joining us again later for the Q&A. So to formally start with the program, let me introduce to you our session moderator, Ms. Alice Chang, who is the Vice Chairman of the International Affairs Committee from the Taiwan Association of Medical Radiation Technologists. Alice, welcome.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Alice. I'm so glad to have you join us today. This session will bring together experts who will share the latest research and innovations in medical image, artificial intelligence, and radiation dose optimization. So let's begin with our first speaker, Mr. Xu Shiyan from the Department of Information Engineering at Yisou University. So he will talk about the development of automated scoliosis analysis and measurement using deep learning methods. His research applies deep learning to assess scoliosis assessment, helping clinicians achieve faster and more accurate results. So let's welcome Mr. Xu.
Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here to share my research finding. My name is Shiyan Xu. I'm from Department of Information Engineering, Yishu University, Kaohsiung. Today, my presented topic is development of automatic scoliosis analysis and measurement using deep learning methods. In the content, we include 4 parts. First one, purpose and the material method. The third part is results, and the conclusion, discussion. So in first part, in the study motivation, we know there have many teenagers develop a scoliosis during their growth period. When we find the recently the reference about the previous rate is about 1 to 3%. In clinical, we find some challenge and the limitation of the traditional measurement method because according to the inter and intra-observer error. In recent years, the AI technique grow up. The deep learning method can take a time consuming to save the detect time, and it can rapid initial screening. So the study purpose, we hope we can develop an automatic detection tool to assist clinical work and reduce workload. The most important can to improve the detection rate for the earlier. And how to identify the scoliosis? We know in clinical, maybe doctor can use their experience to take a to look at the X-ray image, and then and then he can diagnosis. And the other one is to calculate the curve angle. So for calculate the curve angle, they have 2 problems. That means maybe it have the inter-observer or intra-observer error. 2 different doctors may give different diagnoses. Even in the same doctor, maybe make different judgment at a different time. So how to solve this problem? Maybe we can using computer vision method to correctly locate the vertebra, and then correctly to extract the position of the vertebra at both ends to find out to correctly calculate the curve angle. And we also do a lot of research to see related reference. Then we summarize. They have 3 popular method, current method using in recently. First one is called segmentation-based method. In this method, it's very sensitive to image spatial resolution. So if the spatial resolution is lower, that means when the image contrast is insufficient accurate, and maybe the accurate cutting cannot be achieved. That means you can see the right side picture. We try the same method in our data set, and the result we can see some situation it can get better, but somehow maybe the location is wrong. You can see the third picture, this one. In the third picture, this location is very clearly is wrong location, right? So when the spatial resolution is low, the computer vision method is no good. And the second one is called object detection based method. You can using object detect method to get the bounding box, and the bounding box we have 4 landmark, and using these 4 landmark to calculate the curve angle, it can solve the problem of previous. Well, in the previous we call segmentation based method, right? it can solve the spatial resolution is lower problem, but not concerned with the adjacent relationship between key point position. That means when we get these 4 points, maybe it will overlay to the previous or last. You can see maybe these 4 points you can overlap with the previous vertebra or the next vertebra. So for calculate the cobra angle, sometimes we can get a wrong angle. In the third method, this is the best. We call regression-based method. In this method, have strong adjacent relationship between key point position, but it get a high computational complexity. That means you have to spend a lot of time to calculate the angle, and then you can get the right results. It's very hard to apply in clinical, or maybe you can buy the fancy computer, supercomputer in the hospital workstation, and then you can use this method. Otherwise, it's hard to apply in clinical. So the second part, we will talk our study material and the methods. In our material, total 449 whole spine X-ray image from Ida Hospital. All the data has been reviewed by the medical ethic committee of Ida Hospital. Why we only 449? Because we withdraw some image. The image image is blurred, or the image have wrong center, or obscured by an overlying foreign body. And about this problem, this kind of image will withdraw it. So the total we have 449 include of this study. And then in the method, we separate 4 parts. The first one is image preprocessing. Before doing model training, we're doing the image preprocessing. The image preprocessing include bilateral filter, image enhance, and normalization, and combine the Gaussian blurred method. After we do that, next one is doing the model training. So the deep neural network, we choose the YOLO OBB. The OBB short name, the full name is Oriented Bounding Box, OBB. Okay, and after training, we using precision, recall, F1 score, MAP, MAE, and the kappa value to identify the model performance, to choose which kind of parameter and which kind of model is the best. Then the last one, how to calculate the curve angle. We using calculate each vector component of vertebral body and find the mass cosine theta. We will explain in the next page. So in the research flow chart, first we calculate the whole spine X-ray image and doing image preprocessing. After that is model training using the YOLO OBB method. When we get each of vertebral body, we can extract the bounding box coordinate, and then using this coordinate to calculate the vector component of the apex. We got these apex, and then we can calculate each curve angle and find the maximum one. Okay, next, if the angle is bigger than 30 degrees, and we are doing the other thing. If lower than 30 degrees, then we output. if greater than 30 degrees, and then we doing the other things. The first thing is we calculate we using the quantic polynomial fit to find the peak and the valley point. Why we do find the peak and valley point? Because we want to identify the calculated interval. This interval is that we to decision the major and the mirror Cobalt angle, because we know in clinical the whole spine X-ray image the scoliosis problem, not only one curve, they maybe sometimes they have a two curve we call major and minor curve, right? Okay, so for the image preprocessing, you can see the first one in the left image is the original image, and when we're doing the bilateral filter, you can see look like this one, and doing the image enhance, and then combine the Gaussian blurred method. Finally, we use this image for model training. In model training, total 449 data included. We separate to 50% for training, 20% for validation, and 10% for test. That means this 10% image, the computer didn't see that it's a whole new image. That we to choose which one the performance is the best. And in the AI model, we choose YOLO, VAX, OBB. We try a lot of model. You can see this picture. All of them, we try one time. Not only one time, we try several times. And this one, VAX, OBB, is the most accurate. And also, we have to do some fine tune. You can see in the first time the red box, red line. When we didn't doing fine tune. You can see the bounding bars is bigger than the vertebral body. So we change. So we're doing a fine tune. How to do the fine tune? We renew the label body, the image label, to more precise of the vertebral body. So after fine tuning, the blue color bars is after fine tune results. You can see it's more fixed over the vertebral body. And when we get all of from the first to the end, all of the vertebral body, we can get the coordinate, right? So we take this coordinate to first one to calculate the vector component of the apex of each vertebra. And when we get each vector component, and we can calculate the cosine theta of for each one. That means maybe this one is the first vertebra, and this one is second vertebra, and then we can use this formula to get this cosine theta. We call the Cobalt angle. And then next, the second vertebra and the third vertebra, we also can get the Cobalt angle. We can also obtain the Cobalt angle, right? So when we calculate each of them, final to find the maximum angle, that's this case the Cobalt angle results. And some situation we know they have the major and the minor curve. So how to identify the major and the minor? We use the quantic polynomial fit, like we fit 5 times polynomial function to choose the valley and the peaks. You can use the valley. We can use the valley and the peaks to identify the interval and to calculate the two different curve angle. So in the third part, you can see the model performance in OBB. We try a lot of different parameters. In original, we use default parameter, the recall precision F1 score, MFP50, MFT50, 90 is over there. And which one is the best when we change the parameter? That's the clip limited with setting 4 and the grid size setting 8A. The MAP 1595 is the best, or 0.922. And next, we use this model to compare with real data, compare with the real clinical report. That means total CT angle data from the clinical report. We using the previous model to calculate, and we find only 8 cases greater than 5 degrees. In this picture, the blue bar is less than 5 degrees. The orange bar is greater than 5 degrees. Let's compare with the clinical report and the machine. Let's be from the AI results. Let's see some representative case demonstrating. The first one, you can see original image after image preprocessing, and then doing the model training, blah, 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 with AI calculate the results like this. This case, AI tell me the this case the angle, the curve angle is 23.23, and then we check the clinical report. The actual, this case, the report say the curve angle is 23. This angle one, and the difficult one, they have major and minor curve. And we also can see in AI calculated results, the yellow light, the yellow color lies a minor curve. The result curve angle is 41.77, and the red color is a major curve. The result curve angle is 57.56. And the actual, the clinical report, the minor curve is 38.7, and the same, almost the same with the machine of the AI result, right? And the major curve is 59.8. It also the same, almost the same with the AI result. So in final, conclusion and discussion. In conclusion, the model developed in this study achieved vertebral detection performance is over 0.9 in terms of recorder precision, F1 score, MAP50, and MAP1590. And also, the mean absolute error and the kappa agreement was 3.49 and 0.86. And then in angle calculation, only 8 out of 60 cases had error exceeding plus and minus 5 degrees from the clinical report. So in discussion, we also have some limitation. All of the data is from a single data source. So maybe in the future, we can get the whole X-ray data from different hospitals to create the diversity of the image. And in future, may include adaptive enhanced or 3D analysis and clinical application platform to improve the performance. Okay, thank you for your attention.
And thank you, Mr. Xu. So our next speaker is Mr. Chen Jingyou from the Department of Medical Imaging at National Taiwan University Hospital. So next, he will present the demonstration of cardiovascular magnetic resonance and discuss how AI can be applied to improve cardiovascular imaging and analysis. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Chen.
Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to be here today to share with you our works on CMR, the cardiovascular magnetic resonance, and how AI can enhance its application. As we know, CMR provides rich information about myocardial structure, function, and tissue structure dilation. But at the same time, it is often time-consuming, requires expertise, and sometimes poses challenge for patient. In today's talk, I will walk you through the demonstration of CMR techniques, and then discuss how the AI can help us address some of these limitations, making CMR faster, more consistent, and more practical for clinical use. So let me start with CMR, the cardiovascular magnetic resonance. It's really one of the most important tools we have today to study cardiomyopathies. The best part is non-invasive and completely radiation-free. When it comes to structure, the CMR can tell us a lot of information. We can look at the scar or the fibrous tissue with LGE, and detecting the information with the T1 or the T2 mapping, and even study the fiber architecture. We can use the DTI. And for function, the CMR is just as powerful. It shows us how the heart moves and the contrast with the cine MRI. It can measure blood flow in detail and also sees perfusion during stress test. So in short, the CMR gives us both structure and functional information all in one self-exam. That's why it's such a valuable tool for diagnosing and managing the cardiomyopathies. LG sequence has become the gold standard for myocardial scar assessment. First, LG is high sensitive for detecting fibrosis and necrosis, making it standard for scar measurement. Second, it allows us to identify the spatial distribution and extent of the myocardial scar, which is not only important for diagnosis, but also for the clinical decision making, such as ICD implication or ablation planning. On the right, we see examples of LG in different cardiac disease. For instance, ischemia scar typically show subendocardial or transmural enhancement, while hypertrophy cardiomyopathy (HCM) often demonstrates the mild fibrosis. Other diseases, such as acute myocarditis (ARVD) or the DCM (dilated cardiomyopathy) and amyloidosis, each have their characteristic enhancement pattern. This makes LG as an indispensable tool in both clinical and research setting. Gadolinium is the most widely used MI contrast agent, and it undergoes exchange between the intravascular space and the interstitial space, but does not enter the intracellular space. Due to that, we can see the left figure compared to the normal and the abnormal myocardium. We can consider that the abnormal myocardium, such as infarcted or scarred myocardium, have the larger interstitial space due to the loss of the cardiomyocyte, and further time delay, approximately 10 minutes. After the contrast injection, the abnormal myocardium will retain more contrast agent than the normal myocardium, based on the gadolinium agent causing the T1 shooting and the distribution of the enhancement within the tissue. On the right figure, the mechanism of the early of the late enhancement relates to the different wash-in and wash-out kinetics of the normal myocardium and the tissue of normal myocardiums. Here, we talk about the LG quantification. Traditionally, this is done by the manual segmentation, where an expert draws the border of the scar. But this process is time-consuming and subjective. To make it more consistent, we often use the semi-automatic method. The most common one are based on the threshold, the standard deviation, where the scar is defined as a region above the 2, 3, or the 5 standard deviation from the normal myocardium, or the FWHM, the full width at the half maximum, which is used a single intensity distribution. And on the right, you can see how the result change depends on the method, both for the ischemic and the non-ischemic case. So, quantification is essential, but the method we choose can affect the measured scar size. Of course, LG has an important prognostic value in heart disease, especially when it comes to detecting the myocardium fibrosis or scarring. But we also need to remember that LG requires the injection of the gadolinium contrast agent. This can be a problem in patients with the severe kidney failure and contraindicated in those with the contrast allergy. One of the main concerns is nephrogenic systemic fibrosis, the NSF, which is usually occurs in patients with advanced kidney disease. It looks like the skin disorder with thickening and darkening of the skin over the larger area. In addition, studies have shown that the residue gadolinium can deposit not only in the brain, but also in the other tissue, such as kidney, liver, skin, and bone. The long-term risks are still uncertain, so general rule, we should keep gadolinium exposure as low as possible. In addition, the result can vary because of the manual segmentation differences. And sometimes, we also see the image artifact, namely effect in predetection, so while the LG is powerful, it's important to be aware of this imitation in the clinical use. In this slide, we restructure the LG artifact. On the right, inside the blue box, we see purple LG image, whereas the arrow marked myocardial scar. On the left, however, the patient could not hold their breath well. This results in motion artifacts blurring the image and lowering the diagnostic confidence. This demonstration one limitation of CMR. Although it's excellent for scar assessment, image quality strongly depends on the patient population, and it's actually where AI can add value by reducing motion artifacts and assisting in automatic scar detection. AI helps us maintain accuracy even when patient compromise in less than ideal. Here, we move on to the T1 mapping. The T1 mapping gives us the quantitative measurement of the tissue properties. Shown on the color code map, there are different modes of the T1 mapping. The native T1 mapping, which doesn't need contrast and is useful for detecting things like edema or fibrosis. Post contrast T1 mapping, which we combine with the negative value to calculate the ECV, the intracellular volume fraction. It helps us to assess diffuse fibrosis. For the measurement technique, the combined one includes the look-locker sequence and its modification, MOLI, which widely used in clinical practice. So T1 mapping provided adjective number makes very helpful for detecting the diffuse myocardial disease, where the LG may not be sensitivity enough. This slide illustrates the principle of the T1 and the ECB mapping. T1 mapping allows us to quantify the myocardial tissue characteristics, while ECB reflects the proportion of the extra-cell space after adjusting for the hematocrit. As shown here, the difference disease occupy the different region of the T1 ECB space. For example, the Fabry disease and the iron overload show abnormally lower negative T1. On the other hand, amyloidosis and acute myocardial infarction present with very high T1 and ECB. Conditions such as hypertrophy cardiomyopathy or the dilated cardiomyopathy tend to fall in the MI range. This provides a quantitative framework that complement LG allow us to, beyond simply detecting scar, to actually characterizing the underlying pathology. Here, we introduce the look-alike sequence, which is one of the classic ways to measure the T1 reaction times. At the top left, you can see the T1 recovery curve after the inversion pulse. The signal gradually recovers, and we could square multiple images at different time points. At the bottom, you see the T1 weighted source image, and from them, we can fit the curve to estimate the T1 value. Finally, the data can be transformed into the T1 map, like the image on the right, where different tissue show the different T1 value. So look-alike provides the foundation for the modern T1 map techniques, such as MOLI. This slide will show the MOLI T1 mapping sequence, specifically the 533 scheme. The number here represents how the images are squared. First, the 5 images are corrected after the immersion pulse. Then there is the free heartbeat pulse, which allows the myogenation to recovery. Finally, another 3 images are squared after the next inversion pulse. This scheme is the balance between the accuracy and the pre-halt duration, with retry to acquire too many images in a single inversion. The signal may not recover enough, leading to errors. By splitting into the 5 and the 3, with the paths in between, we get reliable sampling of the T1 recovery curve, while still keeping the scan practice for the patient. From these images, the recovery curve is fitted like the one you see at the bottom, and then transformed into the pixel-wise T1 map shown on the right. That's why MOLI 533 has become one of the most widely used protocols for the clinical T1 mapping. In this slide, I will introduce cine MRI, which refers to dynamic image of the heart. These screens provide us with the critical information about cardiac function. First, it allows us to calculate the ventricular volume, such as end-diastolic and end-systolic volume, and to observe the ejection fraction, which is one of the most important clinical index. Second, it helps us to evaluate wall motion, identify the region of hypokinesia or akinesia. Third, it provides insight into blood flow characteristics. In terms of acquisition, cine MRI can be performed using single slice image, multiple phase acquisition, which enable reconstruction of the heart throughout the entire cardiac cycle. The image on the right illustration how cine captures the dynamic contraction and the relaxation of the ventriculus. Here, we can simplify the comparison of the LGE, T1 mapping, and the seeing MRI. LG is the gold standard for scar detection. It provides high contrast, but it requires contrast agent and is less sensitive for diffusion fibrosis. A T1 mapping gives us quantitative value, makes it powerful for diffuse fibrosis and disease differentiation, but it requires longer scan time and is more sensitive to technique factor. The seeing MRI evaluates cardiac function with high temporal resolution and accurate the EF calculation, but it cannot directly detect scar, so it needs to combine with other sequences. Together, these three techniques are complementary, give us the structure, function, and the tissue characterization. On the positive side, the CMR is an extremely powerful tool. It combines seeing, LGE, and mapping techniques and remain the gold standard for detecting the scar and the tissue abnormalities. It gives us the most comprehensive view of myocardium. But the reality is, the CMR also comes with the challenges. A typical exam can last 45 to 60 minutes, which make cardiac patients struggle to tolerate. It requires contrast injection, and for those with impaired function, the scan can be particularly difficult. This is where AI comes in. With AI, the image interpretation and analysis can be automatic and accelerated, reducing both scan and the reporting time. It allows us to keep all the strengths of CMR while overcoming some of its particular limitations. So the key message is this AI bridge the gap, turning comprehensive CMR data into particular clinical care. And in the future, the CMR will no longer be seen as time-consuming luxury, but as an accessible, everyday tool for guiding patient management. This study introduces the US former, a lightweight 3D CNN for left atrium segmentation on LGE sequence. Compared with the conventional 2D or the two-step 3D method, the US former is smaller, faster, and still accurate. It is validated on both challenge and the clinical data set, producing a reliable 3D atrium model. Importantly, it reduces the manual contouring and the inter-observed variability, making segmentation not only quicker but also consistent, a practical tool for atrial fibrillation and scar burden analysis. This study is published on JCMR by Gao. They introduced the MyoLab, a deep learning method for accelerated T1 mapping. Traditionally, the T1 mapping takes over 11 heartbeats, requiring a long brief hold that marrying patient cannot be tolerated. MyoLab reduction extracts 4 heartbeats, directly stimulating T1 value from limited input images. The result is so faster, the patient-friendly, and still accuracy approach, showing how AI can quantitative CMR both powerful and practical. This study is published on JCMR by Farming. It explores whether scar in hypertrophy cardiomyopathy (HCM) could be screened without contrast, using only seeing image. They compare 3 methods: Radiomics, a hybrid Radiomics part deep learning model, and the full CNN. Across a larger multiple center data set, the approach predicts scar with good accuracy. Clinically, this suggests a potential pathway for long contrast, rapid scar screening in HCM, reducing the gadolinium use while still identifying the high-risk patient. This study is published on Circulation by Zhang. They introduce the concept of the vitral negative enhancement in VNE. Traditionally, the LG requires gadolinium injection to visualize the scar. The VNE still combines the seeing image and the negative T1 map, and uses the deep learning model to generate systemic LGE-like image. Without contrast, the network is training with the multiple loss function to ensure the image are realistic and clinically useful. Clinically, the VNE provides a contrast-free, fast, and safe alternatives for scar assessment in myocardial infarction, while preserving the diagnostic value of conventional LGE. To conclude, let me step back and highlight what AI is truly bringing to CMR. First, AI is making image faster. What used to take a long acquisition and extend brief hold can now be accelerated, allowing us to obtain essential information in just a fraction of the time. Second, AI is reducing our reliance on contrast. We are beginning to see the scar and the tissue characterization can be achieved without the contrast injection, making images safer and more accessible for patients. Third, AI is improving consistency. By automating processes such as segmentation and quantification, the AI reduces the burden of the manual counting and minimizes inter-observed variability, leading to more reproducible results across institutions. Finally, AI is driving clinical, particularly from accelerating image acquisition to automating analysis. AI is helping bridge the gap between the richness of CMR data and the reality of the daily patient care. So the take-home message is clear. The AI is transforming CMR into a tool that is not only powerful, but also faster, safer, more consistent, and truly practical for clinical use. Thank you for your attention. In short, AI helps make CMR faster, safer, and more consistent, turning a powerful researching tool into something particular for the daily clinical care.
And thank you, Mr. Chen. So let's move to the third speaker. Our final speaker for today is Ms. Gao Yuanchun from the Department of General Diagnostic Radiology at Kaohsiung Chang'an Memorial Hospital. She's going to discuss assessing dose and image quality in low-dose CT for lung cancer screening. In Taiwan, use imaging phantom. So her research focused on maintaining image quality while minimizing radiation exposure, an essential balance in modern CT screening. So please welcome Ms. Gao.
Hello everyone, I am Lucia Yunchun Gao. I am from Kaohsiung Chang'an Memorial Hospital. Today, the topic I want to share is assessing dose and image quality in low-dose CT for lung cancer screening in Taiwan by using imaging phantom. Here's what I'm going to share today. First, the introduction. In Taiwan, according to statistics from the Ministry of Health and Welfare, pneumonia is the third leading cause of death in 2024, following malignant tumors and heart disease, posing a serious threat to people's health. Because lung cancer usually has no obvious symptoms in the early stages, patients may not feel any discomfort. Even if symptoms occur, they may be very similar to other respiratory disease, and therefore easily be ignored. In addition, the chest X-rays are generally ineffective in detecting tumors smaller than 1 cm, making early detection difficult. Consequently, in most cases, it is detected at middle or late stages, often missing golden hour. Treatment effectiveness is significantly reduced, which leads to high mortality and low survival rate. For this reason, the Health Promotion Administration, Ministry of Health and Welfare, has launched an early lung cancer detection program, providing a publicly funded low-dose stress CT (LDCT) once every 2 years. However, using LDCT for screening may raise patients' concerns about additional radiation exposure. Therefore, the purpose of this study is evaluating the optimal dose and image quality by using a phantom to maintain diagnostic value. In Taiwan, based on 2 papers published in the New England Journal of Medicine, conducted the 2011 National Lung Screening Trial. The first journal is using 4 or more slides of CT scan and having qualified radiologists to perform low-dose CT scans, defined a size larger than 4 mm as positive for lung cancer. This resulted in a 20% reduction in lung cancer mortality, but the false positive rate was as high as 96.4%. The second paper, published in 2020, used semi-automatic software and introduced the concept of Barland doubling time to define lung nodules. Barland doubling time is an important biometric parameter primarily used in lung cancer screening and chest CT follow-up. VDT is defined as the time it takes for a growing nodule to double in value. A longer VDT indicates a more benign lesion. A shorter VDT indicates a more aggressive lesion and a higher histological rate. The research has shown that using VDT can reduce lung cancer mortality by 25%, as the false positive rate is only 1.2%. Low-dose CT is currently the only internationally proven screening tool for early detection of lung cancer, and can reduce lung cancer mortality in heavy smokers by 20%. Taiwanese with any of the following lung cancer risk factors should have a low-dose CT scan of chest every 2 years. First, people whose family members have been diagnosed with lung cancer are eligible if they are males aged 45 to 74 or females aged 40 to 74. Second, heavy smoker aged 50 to 74 years, with a smoking history of at least 20 pack years, who are either current smokers or quit smoking within the past 15 years. Second, materials and methods. The parameters in this study were set according to the early detection scan parameter recommendations of the Health Promotion Administration, Ministry of Health and Welfare, to control the radiation dose. The machine used in this study was Canon Aquarium Premium SP. The scan parameter setting. Tube voltage is 100 and 120 kV. The tube current is 50 to 290 mA. And the rotation time is 0.5 seconds. The pitch setting is 0.813 and 1.388. By the scan screening standard, tube current address controls CT dose index volume. We call it CTDI volume, have to less than 3.0 milligram. Simulating adult thoracic tissue using the atom pattern. And the scan range is starting from 7th cervical spine to 2nd lumbar spine. Circle the region of interest on the scan long image section, measuring the tissue and background, and recording the mean and the standard deviation of the CT number of each ROI on the image. We can see this formula. Hounsfield unit lesion and Hounsfield unit background are the average CT numbers of nodules and tissue background. And sigma lesion and the sigma background are the noise of nodules and tissue background. Calculating the contrast to noise ratio and compare the image quality of different radiation doses. Also recorded the variant computed tomography dose index. We called CTDI variant of the scan to calculate the figure of merit. By changing the KVP, MAS, and pitch parameters to find the optimal scanning conditions. Third, result. Based on the parameter settings, we can see the following tables. First, at 100 kV and the pitch setting 0.813. We can see when increasing the tube current setting from 50 to 170 shows the CTDI variant rising from 0.9 mg to 3.0 mg. Comparing the result, we can see that at the same tube voltage, 120 mA has the highest CNR. However, 50 mA and 90 mA have relatively higher FOM. If the tube voltage is changed to 120 kV and the pitch remains the same, the CTDI variant is significantly higher at the same tube current setting. We can see the 90 mA is close to the national screening standard for CTDI variant. Next is 100 kV and pitch setting 1.388. Compared to the previous pitch of 0.813. Although MA can be increased to 290, but we can find that CNR and FOM are significantly lower. Similarly, changing the kV to 120 and setting the pitch 1.388, we can see that 80 mA has the highest FOM, and 140 mA has the highest CNR. However, compared with the previous conditions, none of them are the optimal doses. In summary, in order to maintain the diagnostic value of imaging and reduce the radiation dose of the exam, this study focused on the Canon Aquarium Print SP model, and it shows the optimal scanning conditions are 100 kVp and 120 mA. The pitch setting 0.813. Corresponding to CTDI variant is 2.1 mg. Its CNR is 7.80 and FOM is 28.94, which can provide relatively good image quality and better FOM. 4. Discussion and conclusion. The results have shown that increasing tube voltage at the same tube current and increasing tube current at the same tube voltage Both of them may increase CTDI volume and are often accompanied by an increase in CNR. While the CNR reflects image contrast quality, it does not necessarily represent optimal dose efficiency. Therefore, both CNR and the FOM should be considered to strike a balance. The FOM is often used as an image quality optimization index. It is sensitive to changes in the CNR. Selecting image parameters with a larger FOM means a lower dose is required to produce image with the same CNR. Additionally, it only evaluates the CNR of image quality parameters and may not fully reflect the impact of clinical image quality. Research has shown that CNR and FOM are not completely linear correlation. Under certain scanning conditions, FOM decreases when CNR is high. This indicates that while contrast is high at high doses, the quality factor may not be optimal. To maximize image quality and dose efficiency, optimal conditions should be those where both CNR and FOM are highest. This is the implementation of lung cancer screening result by Health Promotion Administration, Ministry of Health and Welfare of Taiwan. We can look at the table. 1,401 lung cancer cases have been identified, of which 83.2% were in the early stage, and only 13.3% were in the late stage. Compared with the 2011 Taiwan Cancer Registry data, we can see only 35.3% of newly diagnosed lung cancer case was in the early stage, and 61.3% were in the late stage. This shows that low-dose CT lung cancer screening can indeed help detect lung cancer early, allow people to receive treatment as soon as possible. Reference. The following are the references for this report. This is the end of my presentation. Thanks for listening.
And thank you, Ms. Gao. So thank you to all our speakers for their wonderful presentations. So we'll now move to our Q&A session. So please feel free to type your questions in the chat box or raise your hand to speak.
Panelists can have a question now.
Yes. So is anyone who has questions?
I have a question from a panelist. Hello, Alice.
Yes.
Alice, I have a question now.
Yes.
Okay, I can have a question now.
Yeah.
Okay. The first, congratulations, TAMRT. Okay, I have a three questions for three speaker. I think the first speaker, Xi Yan Shu. Okay. Xi Yan Shu, you all ready now?
Yes, I'm here, President. I'm here.
Yes, I'm interested in your research, deep learning. I think very difficult for you only when you presentation, you have X-ray machine different. Maybe have a report different.
Yes.
My question for you, you know the EOS machine. You know EOS machine?
I'm not sure. I don't know AOS machine is.
Yeah. Now have some EOS machine in some country. They have a software. They can do the scoliosis very easy. But in your research, I think open more the patient for more X-ray machine. Very good because the EOS machine very not cheap, very expensive. I think to open more your research better, very important. And then you deep learning for after that to continue with AI for almost X-ray machine. I think they're very good. Okay.
Yes, I got it. I will find that what is AOS machine and contact a companion. Maybe I will try.
Yes. Thank you, Xin Yen Su. The second speaker, Jin Yu Chen. You all ready now?
Yes, thank you, President. Thank you to having me.
Okay. Hello, you. Congratulations your presentation today. I understand your LGE. LGE very important in your research. I remember almost radiographer and technologists, also manual. Which in radiologist cardiac also make everything by manual. I think you say that's very important. AMI very important. You can. I remember now have some AI software have for in technologists and radiologists make very fast technology LGA, very fast scan MRI, and very fast route everything for radiologists. You can introduce for everybody the AI software. Have everybody like you summarize in your slide and summarize. You can introduce with everybody. Okay, you hear me?
Pardon, President, I'm not sure. Your question is maybe we can use the AI performance or AI technique to help to get the efficiency or the consistency application, or I'm not sure. Your question is we can use the
in your present your research, LGE most manual for technologists also manual very dangerous. Radiologists also very dangerous. Manual route to everything. Okay, two doctor can do different. I agree with you. I think you try to find now. I remember now have some AI software can have for technologists and radiologists in this case. You know about that?
Okay, sorry, President. I know your question. As you said, the LOG quantification might be caused by the different operator to get the different different operators might get the different scar percentage. And as you know, the scar percentage is causing the patient's outcome. So the quantification accuracy is very important. So we want to use the AI method to help us to quantification the LG percentage. And actually, I now present the paper on the other research. We have created AI performance to help us to classification the cardiomyopathy and segmentation the LG scar. So I know your question, and this is my study. I want to try to create the AI performance to help us to do this. It's very thank you for your advance. Thank you.
Okay, your research very important. We look forward in automation, help for technologies and radiologists in future. Automation, everything. Okay. Thank you, Chin Yu Chen. Thank you. And the last question, I want to talk with Yuan Chun Kao. Yuan Chun Kao, you on ready?
Yes, hello.
Hello. Congratulations, the young speaker, very well. Huh? Okay. I saw in your research very important. Loader for screening lung chest, very important. I saw in your research maybe not yet have a new CT model. Okay? Or now a new CT model, they can very low dose for patients screening history lunch. Okay? And the similar one history, one CT scan, loader lunch, the similar loader like one X-ray. You know about that with the new CT model. And the second, now in some military healthcare, some country like in Vietnam country, also military healthcare recommend for everybody insurance healthcare. Also recommend for everybody checkup screening by CT scanner for some patient group, high risk group like you saw for everybody. My question for you, you saw in TV, MMA, maybe too high, and then I think you start for research, continue research with a new CT model. Now, many countries, they recommend military healthcare, recommend for everybody which patient high risk group screening, CT scanner for lunch every year. And I want to ask you, how about in your Taiwan military healthcare? They recommend for everybody screening low dose screening lung cancer every year. You now in your government recommend for everybody now or not yet? Yuan Chu Cao, you hear me?
Sorry, can you speak it again?
Okay, in Taiwan now, in Taiwan now, in military healthcare, insurance healthcare can recommend for everybody with the patient screening lung cancer with the high risk group patient. Not yet.
Yes.
because your research very important. Okay, thank you for your research, very important. Thank you.
The group
Alice.
is approved 2 years one times.
Mm.
To do this.
I guess the Ms. Gao is talking about like our government recommend the Taiwanese to do load of CT to once in 2 years. So that's free. Government subsidize every 2 years. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Alice.
And there is also a attendee has a question for Mr. Xu. So he asks, does the AI work if the scoliosis is caused by contention deformities like hemivertebral? So, Mr. Xu.
Sorry, I didn't open my the record. Okay, thank you for the question from the audience. Yes, the AI actually can detect about the congenital deformities, because the AI we created is to detect the vertebral body. So if we can see in the whole spine X-ray and we have opportunity to detect the situation and calculate the angle. But if the situation is very serious, that I'm not confident to we have a 100% or maybe 90% accuracy to detect and get the accurate curve angle. So my answer is yes, but some situation maybe is a little difficult. Thank you.
Thank you. So we also have one more question for Mr. Chen. Mr. Chen. So he asks like someone mentioned we should be worried about the NSF with Guardian contrast injection, but ARC update to say there's no need to worry about this. So anyone with these two type contrast, what is your take on that? So we also have such conflicting concerns.
Okay, I think it's a very good question. Because the research is proof the type 2 contrast agent, we don't need to concern patient's renal function. And on a hospital, the Taiwan University Hospital, when we inject the contrast, we need to cause the patient's renal function. But the manufacturer say it's just the research. I think it's the trade-off situation. They say it's NSF because the NSF is usually appear in the white person, but the Asian person doesn't have this situation. But I think it's still the very good question we need to concerns. Did I have answered this question?
Okay, thank you. So I think now we have come to the end of this forum, and thanks our three speakers for informative and stimulating talks. So I'll hand back to Peachy. Thank you.
Yes, so thank you, Alice, for your superb moderation of the session. As we wrap up today's session, once again, thank you to our dear society presidents, to all our invited panelists who stayed with us here. Of course, to our three excellent speakers from TAMRT, Mr. Shi Yanzhu, Mr. Chin Yu Chen, and Ms. Yuan Chun Kao. Thank you very much for delivering such an incredibly informative and engaging presentation of outputs of your studies on scoliosis analysis, cardiovascular MRI, and assessment of dose and image quality in low-dose CT for lung CA. We truly appreciate your time, your efforts, and dedication to advancing the field. So on behalf of everyone here, thank you for sharing your knowledge and sparkling such a meaningful discussion. But before we officially close the program, we are excited to share a glimpse of what's coming next. And this is our upcoming CPD Asia program. Our next host will be the Hong Kong Radiographers Association. So please welcome Mr. Nelson Won, the Vice President of HKRA, to give his invitation. Vice President Nelson.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nelson from HKRA. So first of all, thank you, TAMRT, for the fantastic CPD today. So, and on behalf of the Hong Kong Radiographers Association, it is my great honor and privilege to welcome you to join the coming 56th, the Asian CPD event hosted by the Hong Kong RA. We are delighted to have you to join us on 11th November 2025, 7 p.m. at Hong Kong time. So see you next month. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice President Nelson Won. We shall look forward to seeing you there for another round of learning and collaboration as HKRA leads the 56th CPD Asia session on November 11 as part of the CPD Asia series. Thank you, Vice President Nelson Won. We shall definitely save that date. So finally, we'd like to express our sincere gratitude again to the support of BT Healthcare Vietnam, to all our Zoom sponsors. A big congratulations and thank you to our host for this session, the Taiwan Association of Medical Radiation Technologists, to President Chun Yuan Tu, along with all the officers of TAMRT, your CPD organizing committee, Alice Chang. We also deeply appreciate, of course, the ongoing cooperation of the CPD Asia IT team and the unwavering support from all our presidents and officers who help bring you engaging CPD Asia sessions every month. Above all, we extend our heartfelt thanks to all our registered participants and our live audience on YouTube. Your presence and enthusiasm made this online CPD Asia program a true success. So again, I warmly invite you to join us again for the next CPD Asia session next month, November 11. Once again, I'm Peachy Luna, your host, saying thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next month.
See you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next time.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
See you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.